Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome,
Waalaikumsalam.
welcome everyone. I would like to thank you for joining us today at Gems of Light University's webinar. Mashallah, we have Dr. Murniati Mukhlisin. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Okay, and she goes by Annie too, mashallah. She is a Revert from China, mashallah. She has a bachelor's degree in Islamic accounting from the Islamic IIUM of Malaysia, mashallah. And she has her master's in accountancy from the Universitas in Indonesia, mashallah. She has her PhD in Islamic accounting from the Markfield Institute of Higher Education at the University of, can you pronounce that one for me?
Just University of Glasgow.
Oh, okay. Alhamdulillah. And let's see, and a PhD, mashallah, in the Quran in Tafsir from the Institute of PTIQ University from Jakarta, Indonesia. Mashallah, tabarakallah. Welcome. Can I call you Dr. Annie?
Yes, please.
Okay. Welcome. Mashallah, we're so happy and excited to have you. We've been excited for a while, mashallah. Alhamdulillah. So I just wondered if we could start off just hearing a little bit about your background, maybe like what your parents' beliefs and how you
Yeah.
were brought up.
Yeah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamu warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah nasta'inu nastaghfiru na'udzu min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. May yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa may yudlil fala hadiya lahu. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Allahumma shalli ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali sayyidina Muhammad. Rabbi shrah sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Shadaqallahul azim. Our respected and beloved sisters, this is my honor for me to speak at your University of Gems of Light program, and this is actually extended ukhuwah that I met Sister Nora in an event back at the end of October in Virginia, and mashallah, she's a very kind sister, and the community also, mashallah. So we had a very good time at it, talking about Islamic personal finance and how actually Islamic rulings have come into picture when we deal with our money, our finance in our daily life. And alhamdulillah, I had a chance to introduce myself that I was when I determined myself that I had to choose Islam, in which previously I actually had several religions. Well, back to the history that I'm from the Chinese background. My father is actually the fourth generations stepping on their foot to Indonesia, and my mom is the third generation. So I'm basically third and fourth generation actually, and we actually were brought up in the Indonesian community where in that particular area they did not want us to speak Chinese. They actually they did not really consider us as as a part of the Indonesians indigenous people.
Oh, so you were in Indonesia then?
Yeah, we were already in Indonesia at that time.
Oh, subhanallah.
So yeah, so and we believed we had a Confucianism. So we had that in our belief, Confucianism. Where at that time it was prohibited in Indonesia, but only recently, like 10 years ago, the Indonesian president actually officially recognized that Confucianism as one of the religions in Indonesia.
Can
Although
you just
Indonesia,
briefly tell us a little bit? Because I know a lot of Muslims, they don't know exactly what that is, Confucianism.
uh, Confucianism, yeah. Confucianism is actually how you believe in God and goddess. So yeah, so we have actually, if you can browse some like the goddess names, and then how you actually, it is not really a religion in that sense, but um I'm not sure how it's actually it is considered as religion back then,
More like
by Indonesian
ancestor
government.
worship? Is it more like
Sorry.
ancestor worship kind of,
Yes,
or?
yes,
Oh,
exactly.
okay.
So we actually have to worship like our ancestors or on the altar, in our home, like and then we actually have to do like this way of worshiping and respecting our elders, and also our god and goddess. And
Oh,
yeah, so this is actually what I practice since I was small. So we have actually three goddess. Uh, well, it is actually I can show you the name, but it's that's why I can't see. I can show you but you can actually Google it, search it in the Google where
okay.
this yeah. So where
Yeah,
this
no problem.
goddess, yeah. So this three goddess actually um in we believed, or the Confucianists believe that there are actually lucks. When you worship them, you respect them, you ask, you pray uh, for your elderly through them. So you had that belief. So uh, we practice
I'm
this.
just curious.
So,
I'm just curious. What made your family move to Indonesia?
oh yeah, is like my mom, her fam, the the tea war. You remember in the history of China,
Actually,
when the
Americans are not very good with with the,
yeah, they have a tea war, and then actually the people actually, and then my mom's side, it was my mom's grandmother actually, that was the first person who stepped in the Indonesia by ship to Indonesia, because there was a war in China at that time, and
oh, okay.
she then settled down in Indonesia, and then I met her. Actually, I had the opportunity to meet her. And if you recognize in the Chinese food, actually, if the size is small, it means you are from well-to-do family, kind of like that. So my
Oh,
great grandmother, I still saw her feet like small in size. It means they wrap it, during her like youth. So they wrap it, and then the size of the food, uh, you can see that it's still very small. So that is actually the history that I could just trace it. We tried to trace in China. We tried to, see how we actually our relatives perhaps were still there, but we couldn't trace it. I think because of due to the war, so we actually didn't have any clue. And for my
oh, subhanallah.
father's side, is if we have many islands in Indonesia. One of the biggest islands is actually Bangka Belitung or Sumatra Island. So Bangka Belitung is rich with a tin mining. So they need workers. So they actually, the government at that time, the Chinese Indonesians government, well, it was not government yet because it was still under the colonizations of the Dutch during the
Oh,
17th, 18th and 19th century. So my father's grandfather actually migrated from China to work in the tin mining uh, in the island. So then
wonderful.
whenever I visited my village, my father's village, I could still see how my relatives were. They actually how they actually migrated and then how they actually settled down. So I could still see it, but again, when we traced it back to China, we just couldn't have any more relatives back there again. So
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Subhanallah. Alhamdulillah. So, tell us, so you were living in Indonesia, so most of the country is Muslim, right? In Indonesia?
Yeah.
That's the, yeah.
Yeah. It is 87% is Muslims, and the population is 285 million population, and 85% of it is actually Muslims. And yeah, of course, only in the recent years, there are movement to more Islamized community. But previously, well, the country itself is still today it is still a secular country. So although it is a Muslim majority, in fact, the biggest Muslim populations in the world, but the country is a secular. So
Secular.
that's why they recognize 6 religions. So after Confucianist, I moved to Buddhist, and then I moved to Christianity. So then only after my senior high school, I chose Islam. We
Alhamdulillah.
recognize Islam as well. So
So you learned,
in fact, we are Maltese, so we believe in all religions, because in the Confucianists, they teach us how to be like kind to other people. Religion doesn't really matter as long as you are kind to other people, something like that. So we all believe in many religions, like I mentioned, Buddhism, Christianity, and then Islam. We also respect Islam. But then that is actually the struggle that I have in my belief, that which belief that I should actually choose, because in the later years I found Islam gave me a very good example in actually working into my life. And then I see how Islam actually teaches us several dua, something that um,
like a
you
way
know,
of life, right?
yeah, something like make me wonder when I got to know Islam at my young age, after my senior high school. Why so many prayers in Islam? Why so many um, guidance, details, like how you actually walk into your house, how you actually um enter the toilet, what is the dua for eating, and then after eating, so many. When I was a Christian, of course, I made the dua as well, before eating, after eating, but not very detailed, like you wear your clothes, using your right hand first, when you take off your clothes, or socks or shoes. I'm told that it's advised to actually take off using your like left side first, and then how you cover your aurat. And before I entered Islam, I didn't wear scarf, and people like make joke of me, and then like I was not secure. But after
Oh, okay.
wearing
So
scarf,
you had that as an obstacle because you were in a Muslim country. And
yes.
yeah, so maybe you had some you felt like some of the Muslims were seeing you as like less than them.
No, because when you don't wear a scarf during at that time, even now they consider you like you are easy going, they can just play with you, and they don't really they're like they
Okay.
flirt at you, like hi, like make noise, and like uh sometimes I feel like uh abusing me, in the sense like using their words, or some
Subhanallah. That's not
very
a good way to give da'wah.
disrespectful. Yeah, very
Yeah.
disrespectful. But
Subhanallah.
yeah, it happens because perhaps I was very young at that time, and attractive, perhaps, to them, and then, but immediately I chose Islam and I wear a proper dress and scarf. They look at me, and then they start putting respect, like when I walk around, I feel secured. Then I see this is actually something that I find in Islam make me different, and of course there are many other uh, you know rules that make me happy and peaceful, like everything is organized, everything is ruled, everything is thought, is so details, and I'm happy with that, and
And you did
everything
mention
makes sense.
also, yeah, you did
Sorry.
mention also how the Tawheed, uh, it just made sense,
Yeah,
right?
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Everything
SubhanAllah.
makes sense. It makes sense. So like when I was in during, I mean, one of my religions, like Confucianist, we used to go to the graveyard, and my parents asked me to pray to my grandmother, my late grandmother, in her graveyard, and like doesn't make sense to me, like, you know oh, my grandmother, please pray for your grandchild here in this world to be. I said this doesn't make sense. And when I revert to Islam, they still bring me to the graveyard, but I changed my style. I recited Al-Fatiha because, and then I still use, the here, like the stick,
Yeah.
that you use that. And then I said, okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, Alhamdulillah. In the very beginning, is during the transitions period, it's kind of challenging. So I still respected them. I still
Yeah.
follow them
Tell
to
us
the
a little
graveyard.
bit. Tell us a little
Yeah,
bit about the challenges, because I think a lot of
yeah, yeah.
people born into Islam, they don't realize
Yes, yeah, yeah.
exactly how hard it is to be a revert. So
Yeah.
maybe you could kind of tell a little bit about that.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. Yeah, well, the challenges is one of them is during the transition period where I just need to just respect my parents, my aunties and my uncles. I just still follow them to the graveyard, but I recited Al-Fatiha instead of asking the death, the dead to pray for me, because it doesn't make sense to me. So I just said, okay, I just recited Al-Fatiha. And whenever I visited my aunties and my uncles, and they said, "Okay, please, you are now Muslim. You don't eat pork anymore. But this plate is pork, contains pork, and this one is not. So you can choose this one." Well, at that time, I think I should not actually take it, because he cooked everything at the same time, and then she just said, there's no pork, and there is a pork.
Oh,
So
my mom did that too. SubhanAllah.
yeah.
Yeah.
So of course, in the very beginning, I still considered that, and I still eat, and but only recent, of course, sometimes after some years, I had got to say to them that I'm Muslims. I'm sorry, I can't actually eat this one. Well, on my mom's side, it's quite tolerant, but my father's side, I had a gap of years where I didn't speak to them, because I think it's very difficult for them to accept that I'm Muslim. Only in 7 years from to now, because after coming back from UK, I lived in the UK for six
Oh,
years.
recently.
Yeah, yeah. So I
SubhanAllah.
returned to Indonesia in 2017, and then only I had a chance to actually tie up again my like silaturahim with my
The
parents,
family
my
ties, yeah.
father's side, yeah, my father's side. So they slowly accepted me, and I'm quite happy, when I visited that. Of course, they still serve me with the food, and then they
May
cook me
Allah guide
chicken.
them to Islam.
Yeah,
I mean,
and then they said, Ania, this is I cook, katanya, I cook, but this is chicken. I said, Auntie, how did you cook the chicken? How did you slaughter the chicken? Well, I did myself. I just, slaughtered it. I said, I'm sorry, Auntie, because at that time, in the recent years, I had a chance to teach them Muslims should not actually eat if you do not actually slaughter it in a Muslim way. And then she slowly understood. But of course, to make her happy, I brought some souvenirs, and then some gifts for her.
oh,
So
okay, mashallah.
this is the way I actually approach them. That I don't want them to have a bad feeling that I
Be-
didn't eat the food. So, but slowly they understood. So
Alhamdulillah.
yeah,
And that,
alhamdulillah.
subhanallah, like when you become Muslim, you take from the good that you learned from, your parents, and you leave the bad, what is against Islam, right? Like you were
Yes.
raised, subhanallah, the Asian culture, they're very respectful to their parents, to their families, especially the elders. And that's something that we can benefit from as well, subhanAllah. So it's very important, just because your family is not Muslim,
Mm.
that you respect them and you're kind to them to show them
Yeah.
Islam.
In fact, when I need to choose, you know, who is actually my husband to be, my father didn't approve that whenever that he knew that it's not Chinese. But lately, it's my jodoh. I had, I know I someone came, and he is Muslim, Indonesian Muslim, and even my father did not approve, but my mom said, okay, it's fine. He's a kind person. I think I can see that he's a kind person. And we got married. And
Now,
when
how
we
did
got
you
married,
how did you meet your husband? Or
we studied together in Malaysia. We studied
mashallah.
together in Malaysia. He is my senior in university, and we got to know each other, and alhamdulillah, and we got married. And during the wedding, normally the Confucianists will actually do the something like to pray to their goddess to ask for approval, uh,
Oh,
yeah, and blessing. And but for me, I didn't. I skipped that part. I said no. I'm a Muslim. I pray to God, I pray to Allah, and my husband as well. But the dowry, and then the style of the Chinese dowry, and all this tradition I followed, as long as it's not against Aqidah. So, and they happy, they were happy. So He Cha is the Chinese, the daughter or the son of the house would actually hand over, or the bride and the groom would actually hand over like a cup of tea to the
mm-hmm.
elders. They're like sit
Oh,
on your right and left side, and then you keep like handing a cup of tea for them. Like after that, they will give you a gift, and then
oh,
I did that, and so they
that's
were
cute.
happy. Yeah, they were happy, because I still had that tradition. Well, to me, it's not against Aqidah because it's very good. It's a way of you pay respect. You're paying respect to your elderly. You give them like a cup of tea, and then in exchange to it, they give you a gift like a
Yeah.
gold, like a ring, like a jewelry, or like a ang pao. Ang pao means like an envelope of money. Yeah.
Subhanallah.
So yeah, so I follow that, and of course they're happy, to know that I still follow the tradition, but they understand that I do not actually pray to the god and goddess again. And then I said, yeah, okay, this is my religion. I'm not allowed to pray other than to God. And 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 alhamdulillah, my husband's family side also follow the way that I wanted to do. I wanted to have, all this dowry, and then give to the from the groom to the bride, like putting all the red signs character, the red sign, like saying good luck, or it's again, it is not something against the Akida. I said it's fine, and then they will like cover it, and then they will like hand it one by one to my family, and you know uh, I'm happy that I managed to convince my family and his family, my husband's family, to follow that
Oh,
tradition.
oh,
Although then
subhanallah.
I was already wearing scarf at that time, so my gowns and my um like how they dressed me up with the scarf actually.
Oh, okay, subhanallah. Alhamdulillah. So, I was just curious. I know you speak some Arabic, right?
Mhm.
Um, what what made you want to, I mean, what made you want to study Islamic accounting, first of all,
Oh
and
yeah.
go into
Oh,
tafsir and
mashallah, mashallah. When I after reverted, I actually ran away. I'm sorry, I ran away from my home. I mean, long before I got married, of course. I got married in 1999. And then I determined myself that I have to be a very good Muslimah in 1991. And then I ran away from Sumatra Island to Java Island, which is to Jakarta. Jakarta is our capital city. It's a big
yes.
city. And then I ran away, and then I stayed at my friend's house. But my friend said, I can't accommodate you more than 3 days because I also stay at my uncle's house. I said, no worries. I have my family. She is very rich. And I went there, and then they said, well, sorry, you are now Muslim. She didn't even offer me to stay. I said,
Oh,
I'm sorry,
because of your Islam.
because yeah. So I went back to my friend's house, and I said, please accommodate me for a few more days. And then she said, I'm sorry, my uncle is not really happy because the house is so small, and you have to sleep in a computer room. He is actually uh, his job is a reporter, uh, news reporter, and Alhamdulillah, Allah made. I mean, this is the scenario that Allah has already created for me. That I met him, and he knew the Association of Chinese Muslim in Indonesia, which is located in Jakarta. So he phoned the
SubhanAllah.
association, and then he said, "There's a mu'alaf living in my house, and then please, accommodate her, and then find her the foster parents." And I got my foster parents, and then I stayed at the Ustaza. The Ustaza is actually um, a Muslim revert as well. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, Alhamdulillah. So
SubhanAllah.
I had a chance to go with her doing da'wah. And of course, one of her wishes was she would like me to actually do like her, doing da'wah everywhere, because not many Chinese Muslim women actually doing da'wah like her. So, mashallah, I think, I hope her
He
wish
was an
is
inspiration.
yeah, that's why her wish
MashaAllah.
comes true. Because I've been actually going around to 22 other countries and many places in Indonesia. Inshallah, I'm going to Japan next week and to
Oh,
deliver
wow.
some halaqah as well, like what I did in Virginia. So Alhamdulillah, I had that chance throughout my life, and I think it's just due to her dua. So again, back in 1991 to 1993, I worked in a bank in Jakarta to actually support my life. And then, but then I really wanted to go for study again. And then I got a recommendation to go to Malaysia and got a scholarship in Malaysia. So I studied
MashaAllah.
there between 94 to 98. And there where I met my husband. And mashallah, in the very beginning of my my university life, I have to struggle to recite Quran because I
I,
failed to actually
I know the feeling.
pronounce I
Subhanallah.
failed. I couldn't even differentiate between jim, ha, and ha because they're all the same. The difference is actually the dot. I said, during that time, of course, you have reached in a matured age where it's quite difficult to actually sleep and practice your tongue to Arabic. But I worked really hard because the Ustad said, I'm sorry, sister, you have to be dismissed from this class because you cannot pronounce Arabic.
Oh
Please
no.
come. Please go find a sister who can personally and doing a private class with you because you need to do a very basic level. And I really made my I really I mean consider that as a motivation. I
That's
found a
good.
sister. I found a sister who actually taught me every day. She taught
MashaAllah.
me how to actually pronounce well makhraj al huruf, alif, ba, ta, sa, and etc. And within the 3 months, Alhamdulillah, I managed to actually grasp and then recited Al Quran. And then I remember that I recorded the first surah that I recited, which is Al Mu'minun. And then I sent it to the tape recorder to my father. And my father said, oh, she's gone crazy. You look at her. she, she's gone mad. She's insane. My father said like that because I'm not sure because perhaps my voice was not really beautiful or I don't know. It sounds strange to my father, but I keep on trying. I keep trying, So Alhamdulillah, uh, the next semester, I mean the second semester that I was in the university, um, they they asked me to be a naqiba. Naqiba is among the students. There are like groups of halaqah, like a circle, student circle, and they considered me as the head of the student circle, like
MashaAllah.
20 sisters. That my responsibility was one of them actually to teach them how to recite Quran.
Allahu Akbar. See? Alhamdulillah. That's motivating.
MashaAllah.
Alhamdulillah.
Allah. And then
Alhamdulillah.
I also enrolled in Arabic class. It was a compulsory to finish like 6 levels of Arabic. And mashallah, alhamdulillah, I managed to get to score A's, B's for my Arabic class, mashallah. And
MashaAllah.
yeah, I'm so excited to learn about Islam and I was very active in the university, active in the International Student Society and this Muslim Society's program, etc. Even to Muslim Revert program, I was very active inside the university or outside the campus as well. So,
MashaAllah.
alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
So, yeah, uh, it's like, when you are thirsty, you like to drink more and more. It's just like that at that time I was with Islam because I found this is my religion, this is my choice, this is my way of life. I This is the best way that I have seen in my life. The rest, I think I went to, well, when I went to the church, I went to the vihara, I went to the community, my previous religions. I don't think it really as much as I can um, embed myself with Islam like this. I said that makes me peaceful, makes me happy. I said this is I need to, and I like make myself also a motivation that in the future when I have my family, I have to make sure my family will become a very good Muslim family. My children, I have to raise my children in an
Yes,
Islamic
I was
way.
just going to ask about your children. Subhanallah.
Yeah, yeah, Alhamdulillah. And then I got married in 1999. I graduated in 1998. I got a job in Malaysia. So all in all, I lived in Malaysia for 10 years. And I considered that as my second home country. And I
Alhamdulillah.
got married in 1999. I stayed there until 2002. My two
Okay.
children were born in Malaysia, and my third one was born in Jakarta. So I had my
MashaAllah.
Layina. Layina is my first daughter and my first child. And second one is Hayyan. now 22 years old, Layina 24 years old, and Ryan, he is now 20 years old. So
MashaAllah.
Layina is going to Japan to work there. Hayyan is still in Malaysia. Layina and Hayyan both studied in the university that I studied and my husband studied. Where my
SubhanAllah.
husband the same
Now
university.
we're talking so much about Malaysia, so I would like to introduce you to Dr. Aisha Wezwez, who's actually in
MashaAllah.
Malaysia now. So if she could introduce herself, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It was a pleasure having you. And I'm just listening to this from the very beginning. I'm just enjoying every bit of it. I'm so proud to have you, so proud that you were, I guess, going through all this journey and telling us about the struggles. I understand that many times people don't really recognize the struggles when a person is talking about it. I know that you kind of summarize everything, but there's a lot more to it. I know that there are a number of different dynamics that, as much as you probably talked about it, it doesn't really give it its justice. So I wanted you to explain, how did you go from, I guess, when we're speaking about spiritually, how did you go from a person that was raised within a Confucius family, a family that was pretty much Chinese, had a certain practice, to then transitioning spiritually and mentally? I know it takes time. How long did it take you? And how did you get into this new practice and feel that this is what I am, this is who I am, this is what I want to be, this is how I see the world in? How did you transition into that one?
Yeah, thank you, sister. When I was in Sdn High School, Alhamdulillah, I'm considered as a kind of one of the bright students, and then I had a chance to go for TV show on how to do the academic competitions, and then for that I need to do the preparation, and I went to my friends' houses, and then I found, mashallah, four of my close friends. The four of them practice a very good Islamic way of family. This at that time, I made myself. I promised to myself. I said, "This is the family that I wanted to have." Look at them. They kiss their parents' hands. They respected their parents. They prayed. And when back to my house, I didn't have that, you know, feeling where I belong to a family that I wish I had. And then they all, my family were like a Chinese, a traditional Chinese family, busy with the business, busy with the shop, the stores, talk about business all the time, talk about money. And then, of course, my brothers, we are a very big family. We have 9 brothers. We are all 9 siblings. And my big brothers, they used to drinking and then gambling, etc. And I said, this is not me. I said, I wish I could have that families like my friends have, but I can't change. So that's why I said to myself, I need to change my family, but I need to change myself first. When I ran away, Alhamdulillah, remember the uncle that I stayed, my friends that stayed there, the reporter, the news reporter, even he said when he listened to my story, he said, well, I know that you would like to change your family, but you can't at the moment because you are still very young. They will not listen to you. They will not listen to the beauty of Islam. You need to change yourself. You need to actually equip yourself. And then that time, I promised to myself, I need to equip myself. And Alhamdulillah, we have national masjid in Indonesia. We call it Masjid Istiqlal. Allah gave me direction to got to know these communities, Muslim communities, young communities in the Masjid Istiqlal, where I was very active in that masjid. And that actually gave me the vibe and the motivation, further motivation that I have to be a very good Muslimah. And also I was active in a masjid Lao Tzu, where the Chinese Muslim, Chinese Muslim as well, gathering every weekend. And then that time as well, I met good people, and I promised to myself that I said I have to be better than them. And in terms of academic and spiritual achievement, that I need to learn more, because I was very weak in reading Quran. I was very bad in doing Salat. And Alhamdulillah, Allah again directed me to a university where I got scholarships in Malaysia, where the Muslim community, the environment, the vibe was there. And Alhamdulillah, Malaysia, I thank to Malaysia, I thank to the university that I offered me scholarships. At that time, I was in the situation, or in the environment where everybody like to be a good Muslim and Muslimah, and that actually I had a good interaction with them, and also how actually equip myself when I told about how actually read Al-Quran. I was there. I I I just couldn't believe that I got everything that I wanted. Uh, and I believe that is because I surrendered to myself to Islam. Allah gave me everything, uh, comfortable life in terms of searching knowledge, and reading Arabic, reading Al-Quran, and mashallah. And I don't know why Allah also gave me a way of, it's a time for me to teach others. Like one semester after I learned Arabic and Quran, and I said, is it too soon? But when I saw my friends from Vietnam, from Africa, from Myanmar, from Thailand, they couldn't recite Al-Quran. I remember myself, like few months ago, I was like them. And I said, Ya Allah, please give me strength that I could teach them. And mashallah, I managed to teach them. And even after that, after I got married, after I finished my study, uh, people like got to know me, and I had a good, like a kind of good reading of Al-Quran. They asked me to teach them. Even the Malaysian Muslim born, like paid me every month. She was like she worked somewhere, and then every like afternoon she called me to her house. She did not know that I was a Muslimah. Mu'allaf. So she said, please teach me Al-Quran. I taught her. And I said, Ya Allah, please, Ya Allah, what is this? What do you want me? I mean,
It's okay, sister. I'm dead.
yeah, along my journey, and even up to today, I I I indulge myself with Sharia, because I learned about Sharia in the university, for my bachelor degree, for my master's, for my PhD. Again, Allah, what Allah wanted. I mean, why I learned Sharia? And in the very beginning of my marriage, my husband and I had the same vision that we have to take care of our financial matters according to Sharia, and we agreed with that, and we actually practiced it, and we taught our children as well. Uh, you know, like I struggle myself to teach my children about Islam, and also doing Sharia, because I learned about how Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did this. Uh, perform a very good business, and I was raised in a Chinese business uh, condition situations, but I want my children also, I taught them business but according Islamic way, because I would like to see, to feel it, how Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam when he was young, and then when he in the age of 9 years, 11 years, 12 years, he passed through it with his uncle teaching him business. I followed that way, and I taught my children how to do it. They cried, they were not happy, but I tried slowly again, and then
Halal
they
way.
grasped it. Sorry.
Halal way. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, yeah, I think yeah, that's how actually I I why Sister Nora asked me why Sharia. To me, again, in a nutshell, when when I do da'wah and I use Sharia as my platform, and this is actually the easiest way for me to call people to Islam, the easiest for me to convince people about the beauty of Islam. Why? Because when we talk about Sharia, we talk about money. Money is actually a basic needs of people. When we talk about money and Islam, that is actually the very beautiful combinations where people believe that they have to be with Islam. They believe that Islam give them way of earning halal income, halal money. So that's why I'm here now. Inshallah, please make dua for me. I still have more countries to visit to talk about the beauty of Islam through the platform of Sharia.
Do you mind if I ask another question or two questions? The first one, I do see, right now I'm living in Malaysia, but I do see that the two different kinds of Chinese. There's the first one, which is the non-Muslim Chinese, very indulged in money, extremely indulged. They're considered the upper class and the ones that really own the realties, the big companies and all of that. Even though they are a minority, but they're the ones with the money.
Yes.
The second one, we have the Muslim Chinese, and they were the ones, they recently came from China, but one, they don't speak English, so it's not easy to engage with them. Two, they are very shy and very skeptic in dealing with the foreigners. So they kind of, as an American personality, I would get into, I guess, wanting to talk to people, wanting to explore, but you could see that comes rather offensive for the Chinese Muslims. Sometimes I'm trying to understand that. You could see that the Chinese Muslims, they're a little skeptic, scared, feeling that they want to step back. You don't want to, I guess, ask questions too fast to them, even if it's a random question like, "Can you tell me about Islam and how it got introduced to you," or anything like that. But you could see it's like, "Oh no, hey, can I have your WhatsApp?" And the word WhatsApp or even the word YouTube, that scares them, and you're like, "Okay, I'm sorry, maybe I used the wrong word." Sometimes I'm really confused in how I'm going to deal with these two odds. One that is the Chinese non-Muslims who are just into money, and a lot of scamming is involved, and the Muslims that are very shy, you would want to get to know them. I know you're like, okay, that's like a two sets of questions, but I'm really trying to get to know more.
Yeah, thank you, sister. I think we should actually have three groups. One is actually the one that you mentioned, very well-to-do family. In fact, the richest person in Malaysia is actually Chinese. The second richest person is also Chinese in Indonesia as well. Although the Chinese population is only 5% in Indonesia, but they actually conquered the economy. But of course, it's back to the history where they actually perform trading since the very beginning of the colonialization period. But again, back to in Malaysia, the second group that you mentioned, it is true that they are coming right away from China. They were like Muslims born. But the third one is actually Muslim Revert. If you get to know MAKMA is actually Chinese Muslim Association in Malaysia. I was quite active as well when I was in Malaysia. So their office is in Kuala Lumpur, and also Perkim and Rizet. These two organizations that I was active as well during my university time. So this is actually the Chinese Muslim like myself. I found that like myself also Chinese Muslim who are actually mostly they are like educated and also still doing some business, but again they sometimes have challenges in terms of being accepted by their families. So this the third. Of course, these three groups did different way of approach, or different approach to actually talk about Islam. Like from the first one is actually, of course, they considered Islam, or like my family in the old days considered Islam, I'm sorry, as a one way of doing business. I'm sorry. Like, to get to know you, to respect Muslims is actually one way of doing business. It's just a business, as long as it gives them money. They respect Muslims and they respect Islam in a way that during my old days. Yeah. So even I really hate Muslims, indigenous Muslims people in Indonesia, because we had a very big gap at that time. Because even when I went to Christian school, and when at that time I didn't have carriage, I didn't have somebody to actually a transportation, and then I walked from the school to the house, and they yell at me. They said, "Oh, Chinese, you are Chinese." In Indonesian slang, they call it like "Cina loleng mati digoreng." So something like, you are Chinese, you will be you know uh, uh, you will be on fire, like something like that. So like, I was not happy, because the gap was there like that. The second one, where the Chinese Muslim coming from, of course, there are two terms. They are, first, they considered not the same with the Chinese, like diaspora Chinese like me, because they consider them actually they are very original. They are the true Chinese living in China, but it just so happened that they are in Malaysia today. But they still have a strong ties with their families back there in China, and they are actually Muslim born, Chinese Muslim born. Yeah, there are a lot of Chinese Muslims born in China. And the third one is actually the Muslim reverts. So this is where I can see that the three groups, to me, whenever I go for da'wah, I don't know, this is what I consider today, where the Sharia is the platform, is a very natural, it's a very like, I mean, is this not in each, I mean, it's very, what do you call it? The Sharia, it doesn't talk about Aqidah. So that is why people see that the beauty. Like, I had a chance to speak to fathers of the church, and then had a chance to speak to the Muslims about Sharia. They digested it. They said, "Okay, I'm in. This makes sense." When I went to Canada before meeting Sister Nora, I had the chance to have that event in Canada. Then I met non-Muslim families, and the next day they reverted to Islam. Well, I believe that is because of hidayah that Allah gave to them. But
MashaAllah.
a day before that, I actually had a chance to speak to them about the beauty of Islamic personal finance, how you actually engage with Sharia, what is Sharia all about. And they said, they keep on saying it. Oh, it makes sense. Well, it's so good. It makes sense. Well, that, you see how Sharia actually can be the platform to talk about at the end Aqidah. So this is what I feel. Alhamdulillah, I've been actually given a chance, opportunity by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to talk to close to 100,000 people in 22 countries, including Indonesia and Malaysia and Singapore and Thailand, about Sharia.
I want to ask this question, like, when speaking with a Chinese that's not Muslim, what do they not know about Islam? And what is important to tell them about Islam? And what is, I guess, intimidating for somebody that probably just knows about the religion in general, but doesn't really have any information? What would be intimidating for them to learn more, hold a conversation, and so forth?
I had a chance to, again, I always ask Allah, what do you want me again to do? Because when I was in the UK, in Scotland, I met two Chinese from mainland who would like to study about Islam. The second girl, met me at the parking lot near to my room, my study room. As a PhD student, we were given like a study room in the University of Glasgow. And I met this girl. Suddenly, she said, "Sister, hi, good morning." She said, "Do you know where I can find a food that is good for Muslim?" He said, "Oh, yeah, okay, this one. Are you?" And then she said, "Sis, hi, what's your name?" And then we like introduced ourselves. And then suddenly he said, "Can you please teach me about Islam?" "Oh, fine, good. Please come to my office," I said. And we had that conversations for 3 months. And then he said, I started with, hadith arba'in, the 40 hadith, where it's about Islam, Iman, and also the Sharia on how. And then she asked me, "Sister Ani, why do you have to sharpen your knife when you slaughter the animals? This is beyond my thinking about Islam. How you don't want to hurt animals?" "Yes," I said, "because you need to sharpen it." And, it's one of the hadith in our so hadith arba'in, it says like that. So I said, "This is the way that Muslims actually behave." Wow. She said, "Wow." So again, and the first sister also, she said, she begged me, "Please teach me how to pray." And I said to myself, "Ya Allah, what else do you want me to do?" I mean, I did not declare myself to be like a ustazah in the university, but they just came to me. And this is how my conversation, when I talk to them about, mostly they are happy with how you interact with each other and how Islam rules it, how actually Islam guides us how to do with that. So on prayer side, I put aside. So I put aside, of course, Iman, Islam, but I do not ask them to immediately like to know about prayers until they ask. So on the Tawheed and then Sharia, but in a way, because I'm Chinese, so I know how they have their life in the house and how they actually their eating habit, etc. So this is how I actually try to switch from what they believe to Tawheed, but at the same time I mixed it with the Sharia, because if we look at how Rasulullah SAW did da'wah, it's actually he emphasized on Tawheed for 11 years. And then for after that, moved to Medina and then started to pray to teach people about Sharia. So this is what I try to do, and then of course looking at their background, etc. So how their interest will be coming in. So then we will go for the. That's what I did. Wallahu alam. Sister Nora, I'm very sorry that I have to leave.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
So I think
okay.
we will have a second session if you would like to
Yes.
have.
Yes, we can
Yeah,
have a sequel, inshallah. I know you're so busy,
inshallah.
so maybe in the future we'll find a time that's good for you, inshallah.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
It,
So somebody asked me, I was born in Indonesia, so I'm actually the fourth generation in Indonesia.
subhanallah. And also she wanted to know what D-Day meant.
Sorry?
I think she was asking
D
about
word. The T word. T.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Sister Fatima, I can be contacted through my, if you look at my full name, I'm available in social media, but Sister Nora has my WhatsApp number. Sister Nora can actually share my contact number to all of you. Inshallah, you are my sisters in Islam, mashallah.
Inshallah. Inshallah. Jazakallah khair. We
Wa
learned so
iyyakum.
much, mashallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He didn't just give you hidayah for Islam, He gave you hidayah for becoming a da'iyah, to giving da'wah to the whole world, subhanallah, right?
Inshallah. La hawla wa la quwwata
Alhamdulillah.
illa billah.
Inshallah,
Thank you,
we'll all
sister.
take you as example. Jazakallah khair.
Wa
Okay,
iyyakum.
sister. Assalamu
Thank you,
alaikum.
sister. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Have a great day.
Wa alaikum
Jazakallah
salam.
khairan. Jazakumullah khairan kathiran. Salam to your families,
Make
please.
dua for all of us, especially when you're
Thank you.
traveling. Inshallah.
I'm too, please. I'm too. Oh, yes, Sister Fatima, Chinese American Muslim Society, mashallah. I would like to meet you one day, mashallah. So are you
Inshallah.
yourself Chinese, sister?
Sister Fatima?
Oh, yes, mashallah. Yeah, alhamdulillah. So I will meet you, inshallah. 再见啊，
Inshallah.
再见，谢谢。
Yeah, we'll
Assalamualaikum.
definitely connect you guys. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa
塞良
barakatuh.
姆，塞良姆，今天很高兴，很高兴听到你的拯救生命呢，很高兴。特别是你是我第一个那个印度尼西亚的那个 sister。
Oh, sorry, I think she had to go.
It's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
But
Inshallah,
inshallah,
I
I'm
would
gonna
like to
connect
offer-
you with her.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much, sister. Thank you.
Oh, Jazakallah khair. We will be having our tafsir with Gems of Light. If anybody would like to join on this same link. So I'll repost it. We do tafsir let's see, Monday through Thursday with Gems of Light. So let me just share with you the link. Especially, a lot of us are off, so might as well use the time to benefit your iman, inshallah. Jazakallahu khair. Thank you everyone for joining us today. And subhanallah, it was just an amazing story. Does anyone have any comments?
Yes,
You
I have a
can
comment.
Yeah, go
I
ahead. You
would
can.
like to learn the Arabic. She did. She was able. So that means we will able to. We needed only to do some efforts, then we will be able. MashaAllah.
Inshallah. Yeah, we were wanting to start our we have a 4-year program, planned for Gems of Light. We just need enough sisters to join, and then we can start it, inshallah. So if you'd like to bring us some sisters, and then maybe we can start.
That's amazing. But we don't have Quran, I think so. Sister Samia, she said until the January 2nd, right?
I'm sorry, what did you say, sister?
We don't have a tasfir tonight.
Oh, we do. We're gonna keep going with tafsir, but not
okay.
but with Dr. Aisha tonight.
Okay. I thought
yeah.
that. Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay.
The other the Quran class, inshallah, will be starting January 1st.
Okay.
Inshallah. Yeah, if anybody else would like to unmute yourselves, you can go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. How are you guys?
Alaikum salam.
I was asking, did I hear you correctly? Is Gems of Life doing like an Arabic class? Because I've always wanted to learn Arabic, subhanAllah.
We do maybe I could put out an interest form, for sisters who are interested in starting.
Please, subhanAllah. I've been really looking for something that can teach me. So I want to understand the depth of the Quran, inshallah. Because I know the Arabic is very alhamdulillah. It's you need someone to help you if you're not Arab.
Exactly. Dr. Aisha, are you still here? Sorry, I'm on the chat.
I'm here,
right
Noura. I'm here.
Okay. Can you share our WhatsApp group
Sure.
link? Just in case anybody is not in the group.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam rahmatullah.
وعليكم
Jazakumullah
السلام ورحمة
khairan,
الله
Sister
وبركاته.
Noura, Dr. Aisha, and all the sisters that were participating in this interview. Jazakallah khairan, the doctora. Actually, her story was really inspiring, you know, and I wanted to ask her some questions, but I guess she was kind of tight in her time. But inshallah, we hope that we'll meet her again. And of course, I think
Yes.
she was very inspiring to all the sisters. I'm hearing them now saying that they want to learn Arabic, and you know, so I think the stories like this, they do inspire and they encourage a lot of sisters, and it shows them that nothing is, you know, you can do everything you want if you have a will. So alhamdulillah, she was very sincere, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave her what she wanted. So I think everybody is able to get where they want if they're sincere and they do their job. So jazakumullah khairan, gems of light, and we hope inshallah that Allah will open the doors of knowledge and iman for everybody, inshallah. Jazakumullah
Allahumma
khairan.
ameen.
Yeah.
Oh, and I wanna sorry, I just wanted to tell everyone that we do have our classes for next semester posted on our website at gemsoflight.org. O-R-G. So if you want to just check out the classes for next semester, inshallah. Go ahead, sister.
Yeah, it's okay. Jazakumullah khairan. I just wanted to thank you for the event, and I really, really was excited about it, and I had a very nice time listening to her. Every word, mashallah, she said, every tear that came down from her eyes, it just seemed so sincere. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward her for all the trials and obstacles she went through. And inshallah, may Allah enlighten her life with iman and help her to enlighten the life of others, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan again. And I hope to see you guys in many other events, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan.
Inshallah. Jazakallah khair.
وإياكم. Okay, نستودعكم الله الذي لا تضيع ودائعه. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Wa alaikum salam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I have a question. I joined late. Is the recording was the meeting recorded?
Yes, we will be uploading it tonight, inshallah, on YouTube. If you want to, you can just search this on YouTube, Gems.
Okay, inshallah. Yeah, I have it. I have the,
Oh, okay.
The YouTube.
Okay.
Inshallah. Thank you.
Alhamdulillah.
Jazakallah
Yeah,
khair.
inshallah. Wa yakum. Inshallah. Okay, everyone. Inshallah, I hope you have a good night, and inshallah, you guys will join us for tafsir. Tafsir will be Minnesota time, 10 p.m. So after approximately 45 minutes. Okay, everyone. Assalamu alaikum.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله
Wa
وبركاته.
alaikum salam. Thank you so much. Are you Sister Noor?
Yes.
Oh, okay. No, I mean that. So how can I get hold of Sister Annie?
Oh, okay.
So you maybe you send me through my email, right? No, because no, that's my daughter's name because it's the Fatima Al Jahmi, but actually my name is Amira Chen. But I already registered, so you know.
Oh, okay.
You can find my name. Yeah, Amira Chen. Because
yeah,
I'm
you just called me, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I will get her information to you, inshallah.
Thank you so much. We would love to, you know, our members would love to meet her, you know, because our group is basically like 50 members, and we are mostly like 95% of Reverts, Chinese Reverts in New York. So yeah.
I hope you guys I hope you'll tell your friends about Gems of Light too. So
yes,
I
already shared it.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So when we have our next event, then you guys will know.
Inshallah. Thank you so much.
Wa yaki, inshallah. Okay, everyone, salam alaikum.
Wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
عليكم السلام.